Don't wanna be a Canadian idiot.
What is up, everybody? This is hashtag follow the conversation. Episode 20-something. I can't see it because the title is too long for me to see in one go. But my name is Michael Nip, and I'm here with my co-host, Drewby.
You lazy son of a gun.
Episode 27.
There we go. Gotta get that out. People gotta know what they're listening to. Without that, they would have been completely lost.
I said it was hashtag follow the conversation. I think if you're listening to this podcast and you know what that means, you know it doesn't matter what episode we're on.
But you've got to follow it canonically. You've got to go from episode 1 to episode 2. You've got to follow it. You're going to miss the story. The continuing saga.
Plot thread.
Yes. There is one, believe it or not. There's a method to our madness. Not really.
I didn't even tell you we were going live. I just hit the button. That's why you were confused. Your face looked confused, at least. Maybe that was just your normal face.
Okay, maybe we'll just go with that. When I see a little yellow light pop up and then the music starts playing, and then you start, whoa, hey everybody, this is hashtag. It's like, I wonder if we're live. I mean,
but the face that you made a face. It's actually on video because it's a video podcast sometimes. And the face that you made when the music started and I started talking, you were like, "Oh wait, dang it, we're live. This is a podcast. We're doing a thing."
Maybe it's just one of those things that you've got to say, like,
"Hey, I'm gonna hit the live button," like I normally do.
No, I guess what I mean, maybe I didn't know what I was gonna say, and so I just had to take like, "Oh no, I got an intro to do. Dang it. Okay, I got it figured out. We're good."
You forgot your name real quick, because I usually introduce you by your name, I guess, so you wouldn't forget your name. I would forget your name.
Well, I've got 2 names to keep track of. So.
What's your other name? Kal-El?
Andrew.
Nobody calls you Andrew. I don't know anyone that calls you Andrew except maybe our boss, and most of the time he calls you Drewby. Or Goomba.
That's a goop.
Goop. Because he couldn't remember what the word Goomba was.
Drewby, a big goop.
Yep.
Oh, well, that's a throwback.
I referred to you today at work as Doofy. I said he's kind of doofy sometimes.
Maybe. Yeah, I can definitely be that. I can be whatever you want me to be.
Mostly because I saw a picture today of you falling asleep at work. How was that?
So I was struggling in my office. So I work in this kind of room off back or whatever, and I was struggling, and so like I grab my Chromebook or whatever, and I go and I sit out, and I'm not at that point. I had not yet, and so I go and I sit out there, and it's like, man, I'm tired, and then it's like sit down or whatever, and I ended up dozing off for like 5 minutes or something.
I've wanted to. I've never actually got all the way down before, like never actually got all the way under.
I wasn't completely under. Like I was just aware, like drifting on and off. Like I'd wake up and I'd look at the clock and it was like only like 3 minutes or something like that. Like time was passing very slowly.
Yeah.
But it was enough time for the secretary to take a picture of me asleep and then send it to her husband, who then shares it with.
And then send another text that said he's still asleep, and then another one that said, "Oh, he woke up." The thing is, I have been next to a coworker that's fallen asleep before, and the weird, like, you never know what to do. You're like, should I wake this person up, or should I and my philosophy is always let them sleep, because they're enjoying themselves much better than you are right now, because they're sleeping. So, yeah, I was, like, working once, and this guy behind me was, like, reading an article, and he goes like this. And then, which, I guess if you're listening to the audio podcast, he just puts his hand behind his head, and I'm, like, working, and then the next thing I hear is snoring. And I'm like, what the, like, what? What is? So I let him sleep. That would be the best thing to do.
I don't think I snored. But, full disclosure, I have lost all video. I cannot see you anymore. Like, my Chrome browser is blank. I need to, like, close the window and reopen it.
Okay, well, I don't know what that will do to the video podcast. The audio podcast, I can just cut it out.
Okay, one sec.
I'm gonna DJ one of my own songs real quick. Let's see if I can find it. I made a couple songs. I'm gonna pop them to you guys. This is my area of expertise where I play. I can't find the music I made. Where I play music that I made and see if it's good enough to put on Spotify. I store it on my computer somewhere. How about in the folder called music? Oh, hold on, Drewby's coming back.
There I am.
Dang it, Drewby. I was going to DJ one of my new songs. And by new songs, I meant one of my songs.
New No!
Say hi to the peeps. Amanda, look, there you go. Hi to the peeps. And now I have corn dogs.
I've got lemon cookies.
I'll take another one of these, please.
Of course you will.
Ketchup and mustard.
Both?
Yes.
Of course.
Spicy
Both. You pig.
Yes.
I'll just put it on your plate.
Thanks.
Man. Oh.
Boom, baby. You see this? This is a drink that looks a little bit like the Devil's Brew. It is actually cream soda. Something my wife had never had. My wife had never had cream soda.
I am drinking. I have water in front of me and a can of Dew.
Mutton Dew. MTN Dew.
Mitten.
I don't know what that means.
Mitten.
They canceled Mountain Dew and started making this baby Dew.
They saved on ink, and so they don't have to make print as many letters out onto the can. So
tell the people what you thought about your first experience with cream soda.
It was amazing.
She loved it.
Super.
Oh, okay. Maybe I've been forever since I've had cream soda. So.
I can't hear anything he's saying if he's talking to me.
He's not talking to you.
Okay.
He's just talking.
Right, well, enjoy.
Love you. Thank you.
Get a root.
We're doing it. We're professionals. This is what we do. Instead of making food ahead of time and eating it, we just have somebody bring it to you during the show.
There
This
you
is
go.
how we are.
That's what's got to happen.
Want to hear music? I can find some music.
Find some music.
What's this?
Play something.
Can you hear this?
Yes.
I wrote that.
Watch that not get. That's that one. You shouldn't have to deal with that one getting snuffed out on the video.
I hope it does. I hope the copyright gets tagged. I had a video. I don't know if I talked about this. One of my old YouTube videos of us playing League of Legends got tagged as being a copyright violation, and it was a song that was not in the video at all. It was like some random song that I've never even seen before. I looked it up. It was definitely not in the video. So I've thought about disputing it, and then I was like, nobody watched the video anyway, so it doesn't matter.
But now we can't go back and watch it.
I can, but nobody else can.
You recorded the. Can you watch that on your YouTube channel, or do you actually have a hard copy of that file?
Yeah. If it's your video, you can still watch it.
Okay.
If you're logged in.
Spinel.
This corn dog is so good.
So, did you hear about the Marvel news that dropped today?
I did. That was good Marvel, potentially, if they're using Tobey Maguire. Go ahead and talk about it.
All right. So, for those of you who may not know, today, on February 10th, 2015, Marvel announced an agreement with Sony Pictures to allow Spider-Man to take place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What this means is that he can now kind of be involved in the same universe as the Thor, Captain America, Iron Man movies that we've seen. That's the cinematic universe. The Avengers takes place in the cinematic universe. If you watch Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that takes place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Even though Spider-Man was a Marvel movie, it was not taking place in that same universe. Similar to Fox and how they own X-Men. They can't take place in the same world, same universe. So what this means is that...
Is it just the universe, or is it just that one movie?
It is it's the universe. What they've done is they've announced this is. It seems like this is an agreement for right now. The agreement, I believe, specifies just his presence in an upcoming Marvel movie, and then his own movie. His own movie is scheduled to take place. Is scheduled to release 2017. This has pushed.
So they're doing another reboot.
Now that's something. I'm not sure. We're not sure if they're just going to bring over Andrew Garfield and reuse his character, or if they are going to put a new actor in there. Do not use Tobey Maguire. Do not use Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire.
So that's kind of what in the talks. That's kind of what they're talking about. I think this is a good thing. One, I think Spider-Man is kind of crucial for Civil War, which they've already announced the movie Captain America 3: Civil War. Here's the thing: if they decide to reboot Spider-Man and say, okay, we're gonna just reboot him for a third time or whatever, and we're just gonna create, well, more than that, but we're gonna reboot the entire character. We're gonna tell the story of Peter Parker and how he got bitten by a spider to become Spider-Man. If they decide to go that route again, I do not think that Spider-Man as a character will be ready to be used in the capacity that I think you and I would like him to be in Captain America 3: Civil War. I think that he would need his own movie and at least some semblance of, or he needs to be established character in that universe for him to be a big effect and a big meaningful change in the Civil War story. If they continued with the Andrew Garfield storyline and introduce him into this and say, okay, Andrew Garfield, you are an established Spider-Man. New York already knows you're here. They can then, his impact and what he chooses to do in the Civil War story will have a much larger and bigger effect. So he can be more...
Andrew Garfield sucks as Spider-Man.
In your opinion? I think he sucks as Peter Parker.
In many people's opinions.
Not as Spider-Man.
Because as Spider-Man, he's in a suit. It's not even Andrew Garfield. It's just him reading lines on a piece of paper.
But he plays... I don't dispute his... I do not dislike Andrew Garfield's portrayal of Peter Parker.
Okay.
Portrayal. There we go. His depiction of Peter Parker. Okay. His portrayal of Peter Parker. I do not dispute that because I don't like the acting or I hate it as a character. I just don't. I agree with you, and I don't think that is an accurate portrayal of Peter Parker from the Marvel comics.
You know who did a really good Peter Parker?
Who?
Tobey Maguire. Every time you say Spider-Man, I'm going to go back to the audio version of this podcast and play a sound clip of me saying Tobey Maguire. Because he's Spider-Man in real life.
The problem that I had with Tobey Maguire I think the problem that maybe that makes him a good Spider-Man is because the guy is such a nerd dork.
Because that's what Spider-Man is. He's a dork.
Yes, but I don't know that I want him to be. I recognize that that's more of a portrayal, but so that's my take on Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker. I don't think he portrays the accurate, but I like his wittiness. Like his take on Spider-Man is him just cracking jokes and having fun. And that I think that works. In that portrayal. So. Right now, we kind of don't know whether or not if they're gonna bring over Andrew Garfield or if they're gonna do something else. If they do bring in someone new, though, I don't know if they will use Spider-Man in the Civil War movie in the way that he was used in the comic books. It may be a very smaller role. And besides, if the all right, so Captain.
Does anyone want to watch another Spider-Man origin story anyway? I don't know anyone that does.
I don't. I don't know. And see, and since Sony Pictures is still involved,
Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 have already built up Spider-Man pretty well.
and so, okay, those movies were kind of. One
No, they're
was
not
a
garbage.
good,
They're
one was
amazing.
a good movie. 3 was garbage, and 2 was.
3 was a good movie.
Maybe we'll have to watch that movie
I
sometime.
don't know the worst part. Kirsten Dunst. She's terrible.
That's gonna be your beef with that movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Name something wrong with that movie, and I'll name a reason why it's not wrong.
Emo Peter Parker.
That's the best. That's the best reason that there's the best part about Spider-Man 3. No Peter Parker.
It's so. Okay. All right. So.
Drewby, do you like Nightwing or Green Lantern better? We just got a comment on our YouTube video.
I will. Nightwing. I prefer. I like Nightwing better. Well, hold. Which Green Lantern? Are we talking Hal Jordan?
Any
Are we
Green Lantern
talking
that's
John
not black.
I guess that's kind of a moot point because I probably would still prefer Nightwing, although Jon Stewart is probably the coolest Green Lantern.
I don't think that's debatable at all. I think that's obvious.
Who do you think, Guy Gardner? Guy Gardner is gonna be the most.
That's a good Green Lantern joke. They're so weird. No, I hate Green Lantern. So, except for Jon Stewart.
Quick, go back to the Spider-Man thing a little bit. If Civil War is scheduled,
Why do we have to keep going back to this? Okay, go ahead.
This is this is a big story. This is a big news announcement. If they really, this is
Not
me,
until Tobey Maguire's announced as Peter Parker.
This is me theorizing. Civil War was scheduled to release 2016. That's Civil War. So if they all right, so they've got to get him. If they're going to use him in that, they've got to get him into a movie by the end of this year, a Spider-Man cameo in Ant-Man or Avengers: Age of Ultron, which probably won't happen.
The only reason I'm letting you talk about this is because I'm trying to eat a corn dog.
Andrew Garfield is also already rumored to play Peter Parker, Spider-Man in the Amazing Spider-Man 3, which has been announced also for 2016. That movie is officially announced. So, are we going to get two Spider-Mans? Are we going to get Spider-Man of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or are they going to try to tie in the Amazing Spider-Man into the Cinematic Universe? I don't know.
Has there ever been a crappy superhero and a good superhero in two different universes going on at the same time? Like Tobey Maguire in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then Andrew Garfield in Amazing Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire is not. He does not deserve to be cast in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That was not a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. That was his own little
but it
bubble
will
of
be.
reality.
It's going to become canon, I think. And Bruce Campbell better be in it.
Are you really going to come out and call that they're going to cast Tobey Maguire and bring him back after Spider-Man 3 into Civil War?
I don't have to call it to want it.
That maybe I could have better faith in the director that the Marvel Cinematic Universe would put some reins and pull the reins in on that story if they did that, if they brought in Tobey Maguire for that. You
like silly, crazy Andrew Garfield quipping jokes, and you don't like dancing Tobey Maguire?
That's just what that movie is just garbage. I haven't seen it in years. I will say this right now. But even if I go back like that movie just is not
20
good.
minutes. Stop talking about Spider-Man. Stop talking about it. I've been wanting to play some tabletop games. You free?
What's up? What do you want to get back? I was thinking about meeting some masterminds the other day, or was that Sunday or whatever? What do you got in mind?
I don't know yet. I've just wanted to play some tabletop games. It's been a long time for me. Why were you thinking about meeting some masterminds?
Because I was watching a Giant Bomb video, and Dan was talking about being the Terminator in D&D. Like that's the character he wants to play as. And I was thinking like, well, no, you probably couldn't make that character in D&D, but I bet you might be able to make that character in meeting some masterminds.
You definitely could meet some masterminds.
So
definitely.
The problem I bet even if Dan played Mutants and Masterminds and played as the Terminator, I don't know if the Terminator would be as powerful as he wanted him to be, because the
You
Terminator.
could make him as powerful. He would just have to be a lot higher level than you would probably be playing at.
Mm.
Like, you can basically, the way that Mutants and Masterminds works is you can make almost any character from anything if you had enough level points.
Okay.
You just keep stacking powers.
Okay.
Did you like that when we played Mutants and Masterminds?
It was hard for me to kind of get into it. It was very different when we played. Let's see. This story. We played kind of sporadically enough, like where there were weeks in between sessions that we played. I guess it was maybe hard for me to follow the story or maybe appreciate it so much. I know you put a lot of like work into like getting that stuff into like getting the stuff ready, but like developing the story and the background and stuff like that. But there was like the time in between the sessions, and it was kind of an opportunity for me to hang out and not necessarily so much to play.
Maybe do that as a mini-series or something on the site. We play some Masterminds or something, I don't know. Get Agent G involved.
The problem with that is schedules, which is the same problem we had last time. And if we're gonna do this, make it a schedule. Who we include is got to be able to commit, or at least have a consistent free time to make that happen. So
You and I are pretty good at making that work. Get Agent G involved.
you
likes
and
hanging
I,
out with me 'cause I'm
you and I
cool.
have like pretty similar work schedules though. The two people who run the website, well, the one guy who runs the website, the guy who's on it a lot, because our work schedules are pretty similar, like you're going to be able to make that stuff work out.
You want to talk about our current mini-series we got going?
The Fast and the Furious.
Only it's called
Too
Too
Fat.
Cultured, Too Furious.
I came up with that stupid name. Yeah, I think we're gonna watch the second movie this week. We'll see.
You excited? You pumped?
I don't know what to expect.
You were super pumped the other day. Did you change your mind since then?
I guess my hype has sort of died down. It's like, okay.
Have you reflected back on the first movie and realized that it's a little bit dumb while still being awesome?
No, that movie's still awesome.
I'm not going to argue with it being awesome. I'm just wondering if you had.
I haven't
realized
given
it was a
much
little
thought.
silly.
I haven't really given much thought into reflecting on how on the movie and thinking about it in detailed analytical ways.
So we'll mess with the second movie then soon.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. We'll see. Schedule's gotta work for that.
You caught up on the Arrows?
Yes. Caught up on Arrow. Flash is airing tonight.
Would I hate this week's Arrow?
Yes. yes.
Okay.
Because of what they did for the mid-season finale.
You don't even have to describe it. Like,
Okay.
I'm okay knowing I'll hate it.
Because, I like, even I was like, really, that's what you're gonna do? Like, okay, like, season 2 was really good. I liked it.
I agree.
A lot when I watched it. Season 3 just has not been doing it in the same way that season 2 did. Like, in some ways it should be cooler, but it's just not delivering.
But Flash is good?
Flash is good. I was listening to a podcast today where the guy's like, he doesn't like Arrow, but he loves Flash. And I've heard people like who say like they love the Flash, or like the Flash I think is a genuinely better TV show than the Arrow. And it's good. You need to check it out. That show's good. There's sci-fi. There's the action. There's some of the CW romance bull that you kind of have to deal with and put up, but it's not as bad as Arrow right now. So
Arrow's pretty bad.
Flash is good. I'm still watching Agent Carter. Then the
I
last
forgot
episode.
about that show. Is that stupid still?
I never thought it was stupid, so probably in your opinion it would be. You and I had different opinions about that show when it first aired. In the last episode, the Howling Commandos were in it. When they went back to Europe, and
So you got what's that dude's name? What's that
Dum
dude? He
Dum
has a stupid name.
Dum Dum Dugan.
Dugan. Yes.
The one that, yes, he was in the episode. You get the
Good old Dum Dum.
Oh, and there's a scene in the episode where they parachute. They drop in behind enemy lines. Peggy and 3 SSR agents, and they parachute them behind, and they're walking through, and then it's like, "What's the password?" Like you hear someone call out from the streets or whatever, and they're like, and apparently like someone like quickly it becomes like kind of comical where like the 107th, the Howling Commandos forgot what the password was or something, and so they walk out and like one of the SSR guys like, "That's Dum Dum Dugan."
Is Chad Michael Murray still in it?
Yes, he is, and he was one of the SSR agents. You learn a lot.
Good.
You learn more about his character, and kind of the struggles that he has coming post-war. Chad Michael Murray, with the emotional side.
He dated Hillary Duff once.
He did. He did. I think that actually worked out.
Cinderella Story? That was it, right? I liked that movie a lot when I was a kid.
How many Cinderella stories have there been though? Like movies that are like, this is the Cinderella story.
Well, there's like, okay, so there's the regular Cinderella movie, and then like it's obviously a trope, but there's actually, I believe there is actually a film called Another Cinderella Story, and it's basically the same exact story with Selena Gomez.
Okay, that's the movie.
For real.
That's the one I was thinking of.
I'm looking it up. Another Cinderella Story, 2008.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, that is Selena Gomez, and yes, that is what that is.
Marvel. So Agent Carter, watching that. Forever. I'm behind an episode on that, so I need to get caught up on that.
I must have made the Forever Young joke again.
Forever Young. I like randomly sung that yesterday morning at work, and yeah, just kind of came out. Let's see. What else? I've been watching some Castle, kind of a crime show. It was The Mentalist before The Mentalist was a thing, before it existed. With I'm forgetting his name. He was in Firefly.
What are you talking about? The Mentalist has been around for a long time. How old is Castle?
Oh, let's look it up. Castle. I think 2009 is when 2009 was Castle. Mentalist. 2008. Oh my goodness. So Mentalist was the... Okay, I have a little less respect for this show, I think. You don't like The Mentalist.
I think it's... I don't know. I don't like it.
You
I have to
don't
pick
like
my
it?
poison when it comes to that trope of detective. I will pick my poison. I will pick both Agent Cooper from Twin Peaks and Sean from Psych.
Nathan Fillion is his name.
Yeah, I know that's his name. Did you forget it?
I couldn't remember it. Remember? I was just talking about it. So.
I don't remember.
Watching that. Sling TV. I think I talked a little bit about last week. Sling TV.
Still working for you?
It's still working. Did you hear about the new announcement for Sling TV? They're getting ready to. They're going to add a channel to the basic package.
What is it?
They're going to add AMC to.
So you can watch your Walking Dead.
Package. So The Walking Dead is going to be available. This is a huge get for them. If based on what I've heard about about kind of cord cutting or people trying to get rid of cable, AMC is kind of
you could just say that you heard it on your Cord Cutters podcast.
That is where I heard about it. Yes. Cord Killers, I think, is the name of the podcast with Brian Brushwood and Tom Merritt. They were talking about how AMC. Tom was talking about really the only reason he has DirecTV still is because of AMC, and the fact that Sling TV can pull it out. In fact, I mentioned this yesterday at work, and a coworker said that that was one of the only reasons he paid for cable was because of AMC. And so if the fact that AMC's coming to a $20 TV streaming service is pretty awesome, and that's a good snag for them. So yeah, if you're holding out or whatever for something like
We
that.
watched a show called Outrageous Chocolate on
Yes,
Sling TV.
yes, with the chocolatiers.
That was special. We watched a lot of weird people make weird chocolate things.
Some of them were cool. Like one lady made a cuckoo clock, a working cuckoo clock out of chocolate. The only thing that wasn't chocolate was the actual clock mechanism itself, but it was encased in chocolate. We watched a dude
Full
make.
disclosure, I don't like chocolate at all, which is why I thought that this was extra gross, because they're just molding these like chocolate things, and like the smell of chocolate makes me sick. So dealing with that was a little rough.
We watched that. Oh, we watched a gentleman make a volcano out of cupcakes. That was.
I think the coolest part of that was that there was a cherry goo that erupted from within the volcano.
You said erupted. Well, we watched them make it. We watched some people make a tree out of chocolate, but it was kind of on a mold. They just kind of pressed chocolate around a wire.
That was
mold.
actually kind of like, it seemed dumb to me. It seemed like something anyone could do if they had a lot of time. And by a lot of time, they did it in like a day.
And then you commented that they were going to take like a week off or whatever so that they could figure it before they did their next one.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, we watched a little bit of that. So yeah, Sling TV is still a thing. I like it. I kind of hope I can continue. I can keep it, and it's not going to be like a financial burden so much that I'm going to be like, to be responsible here, I probably should cut this thing. I hope I can keep it. This weekend, I just was playing games and had it on, and I watched movies. I watched Fever Pitch with Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore. I watched the end of Ella Enchanted. I watched Gran Torino. Gran Torino, by the way. If language is not something that bothers you or something that you can tolerate, that movie is really good. It's an R-rated film. I watched it on TV, so the F-bombs were kind of not there, but that movie was good. I thought that was kind of a cool.
I watched a movie called Baby Mama.
Is it a horror film?
No, but it is Tina Fey and Amy Poehler being silly.
I knew it. I knew what it was.
I know.
I knew it wasn't a horror film.
There were some funny parts of that movie, but it was kind of meh. It was no Fast and Furious, I'll say that.
Is anything Fast and Furious?
No, except for maybe another Fast and Furious. No, you know what? They're all different. Except 5 and 6, they're kind of the same, but 6 is better because it's bigger. So I guess they're not.
You guys dropped a new.
This cream soda's making me snarty.
Snarty.
Did I say snarty?
Yes, you did.
I would assume that this was alcohol if I didn't know it wasn't.
You guys
What were you saying?
You guys dropped a new music podcast this week.
We did. That was fun.
I listened.
It's about
to it today.
Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Yes.
I guess it's not fun. I mean, it's a dark album, but it was really good.
You mentioned that the podcast actually made your wife want to listen to the album.
Yeah, which surprised me because Pink Floyd does not sound like a thing she would care about at all. But we played parts of the album.
If you're listening or watching this video, listen to this podcast, and you're not checking out this the music podcast, check it out. It's good. I listened to the album The Wall, and I didn't listen to the whole thing. I listened to most of the thing, but like even like some of the stuff that I was drawing conclusions from, and coming to terms with, and listening to that album, and then listening to Michael and Michael dissect the album. It was kind of you and Blake were on the show. You guys kind of talked about the album there.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the free plug.
The Wall Part 2 is probably the most popular Pink Floyd song, at least I can think of. Did they do Money? They did Money, didn't they? That was a Pink Floyd song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that
from Dark Side of the Moon, I think.
Yes, I think that's the right album.
It's easy. I have Spotify open. It's easy enough for me to look, I guess. Dark Side of the Moon. It just seems weird because I can't talk and search for stuff at the same time. Yeah, there's a song called Money. Goes like this.
Don't hit me back to.
I don't know what they're saying. I can't understand British people, so I have to look up the lyrics whenever I listen to Pink Floyd.
I like British accents. If I could, I'd have a British accent. That would be.
Let's hear it. Read something. Read something British right now.
This is not.
Read the. You have the album in front of you, right?
All right,
read
all
the
right.
titles of the
I'm
songs.
going to read the description for Castle. I have it up on IMDb. This is going to be terrible. If you're British, I'm not purposefully trying to offend you. It's just trying to read this thing. I don't. After. I don't even have. We need to play something British. I need a template here. Find some. I need something British. This is gonna be terrible. All right, I'm just gonna do it. You're gonna hate this. Okay. This is so embarrassing. After a. I can't even do it. Like this is gonna be like a mix up. Can I do an Irish accent instead? That might be easier for me to mimic.
Oh, okay, sure, but you were looking for British, but let's hear your Irish accent instead. That's cool.
After a serial killer imitates the plots of his novels, successful mystery novelist Richard Rick Castle, gets permission from a mayor of New York City to tag along in an NYPD. I can't even do it. Sitting here laughing. Oh, let me finish this. Gets permission from the mayor of New York City to tag along in an NYPD homicide investigation team for research purposes. That was terrible. That was absolutely terrible.
I am going to give you mad props for actually making yourself read that entire thing. Like, regardless of the quality of that accent, I am glad you stuck with it. There is some kind of determination there should be applauded.
Oh,
on many levels.
That was absolutely terrible. There's got to be like a sound clip in there or something. Oh, that was terrible. Yeah, so I would like to have a Destiny. Played a little bit more Dark Souls. I haven't really gone too much into Dark Souls. I haven't really played that much Dark Souls actually. We played a little bit. I think it was after the last time I played Dark Souls was last Tuesday after our last podcast. No. Yeah, I think it was.
You did play after our last podcast.
Yeah, because after our last podcast, you were telling me, "Hey, you got to go check this out or whatever," and I did it, and that was kind of the last time I played Dark Souls. So, yeah, I can't really talk about that too much. I played some more Destiny. There's this gun I'd like to get in there called the Hawk Moon. That's be a sweet pistol to have. It looks awesome, but I guess it's a pretty rare drop. So we should get some people. When we get enough people, we should raid that. Do some raids.
I think that'd be fun.
Let's see, did I play? I don't think I played it. Oh, I'm playing Clash of Clans now.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's a mobile game. And it's just kind
love mobile games now.
It just turned into something that it just kind of sucked me in a little bit. Let's see here.
Are you gonna show me your clan? Oh, what was that?
It was loading up. So I can show you. See, I'm not. How much do you know about this game?
I know it's one of those crappy like Farmville-like games where you just click a button and then sit there and stuff happens.
Liam Neeson plays Clash of Clans.
Okay.
It's a game for
Good for
real
him.
men.
Okay.
Hey,
he's the kind of guy that lets his wife and kids get taken many times.
It's not his fault.
I've been playing this game. This is the only game I've played all week. You may have heard of it. It's called 2048. I'm just kidding. It's threes. We talked about 2048 a long time.
Yeah, we had quite the discussion about 2048.
Last time we talked about 2048, we broke up and didn't have a podcast for a month.
Was that really the last episode? I don't.
Yes, that was the last podcast episode we did before the new year.
The last thing we did. not hashtag. On the topic of gaming, a podcast that does not exist really anymore. We argued, disagreed, we fought, we bled.
I haven't listened. I have not played any games. Majora's Mask is coming out this Friday, and I kind of want to play it on the 3DS.
That needs the, does that need the new 3DS to play?
No, it does not.
Okay. What?
The new 3DS, all it does is add direct camera control.
Are there any? So there are no games that are going to be specific to that 3DS?
There are some.
Because I thought there were.
There are a couple. One of them is a game. Monster Hunter also comes out Friday. We should do that. The new Monster Hunter 4. You like Monster Hunter? Don't lie to me. Oh, heck! It's like some Japanese anime RPG. Not Ultima.
Persona.
Not Final Fantasy. Not Persona. It was on the Wii. I don't know. Whatever. No one cares. Nobody buys those games. That's why I don't get it. That's why we haven't got very many of them, because they don't import, because nobody gives a crap. But yeah, that's the only one that I like. Literally the only game I know that's exclusive to the new 3DS right now. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of exclusives. There usually aren't when Nintendo kind of does that thing.
Okay.
Excuse me. But yeah, I've been having a pretty chill week. Haven't played many games. I saw that there's a game on sale today that I kind of want to get called, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Man, I would swear I was drunk if I didn't know this wasn't alcohol.
Are you sure it's not alcohol?
It says food and drink. No, it says soft drink. It says cream soda, no caffeine. I guess it doesn't say no alcohol. It just says no caffeine.
I'm trying.
Also, I'm not logged into Steam right now.
Why?
I don't know.
That's kind of an odd thing.
There was stuff I was going to talk about on the podcast this week. What was it?
We
talked about Marvel. We talked about Life is Strange last week.
Here we go. Okay.
What are you doing?
There was a story. I'm gonna find it. That I saw I thought about talking about in the show. Let me see if I can find the specific story.
I crashed your date this week. That was fun.
Yeah, that totally happened. That was odd. It was kind of funny actually. Walk out and it's like, yeah, that's Michael. Yeah, he's totally over there. Let's see here.
Professional podcasting at its finest.
Yes. Who are we kidding? No one listens to the show.
Somebody was on. There were a couple of viewers. Will Beeson, he was on. He's a regular sometimes. My mom listened to the podcast. She commented on our YouTube video.
Why is my phone? Oh, my brother got a new phone. He decided to pick up the Moto X, which I think runs stock Android actually, which would be a Nexus phone that doesn't run stock Android. I thought that was kind of odd. That's kind of a sweet phone.
Are you ready for skateboarding again? It's gonna get warm again, I think.
No, I'm not. Like, I'm gonna have to relearn how to be on a board all over again.
It's been like 2 weeks. We're gonna get owned.
I've got a helmet.
I think I'm a little sore. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I think I pulled a muscle because I hurt my calf a little bit, and then I was doing some heavy lifting over the last couple of weeks, and I hurt it again, and it's still sore. Are you seriously looking for this article still?
I found it. It's just, come on, I know you're here.
You don't know what it's about?
Biggest lies of like video game companies, and it was it reminded me of some stuff. Like one of the things I was talking about was, do you remember when they were playing Star Wars Connect on stage at E3? Do you remember when they did that? Do you remember what happened?
No.
In that demonstration, the character that the guy was supposed to be controlling moved before the actual player moved, showing that the whole thing was just a recording.
Nice.
That's
Podcasting. Super hard.
I actually did actually have a story. I'm not. Oh, there it is. No.
We're almost here.
I,
No.
It was
My
there.
name is Michael Nip.
Oh,
You can
there
find
it is.
me. Twitter.com/Michael Nip. MICHAELKNIPP or Facebook.com/TheRealMichaelNip. My co-host, who's looking for this article right now on his phone, as if it existed, his name is Drewby. You can find him Twitter.com/Drewby132, where you can find links to his Google Plus profile, where he posts lots of silly things, including probably this article that he doesn't have on his phone. You can email us. We'll answer you. If you email us at theculturemypeople@gmail.com. You can find us on iTunes, the audio version of this podcast. You can also find us on BeyondPod. You can find all of our podcasts there. Everything's in one giant RSS feed. So the music show, this show, Fast and Furious minisode, which we'll be working on this week. Plan on watching, what's it called? Too Fast, Too Furious. We're in love with that show. Are you back, Trippy?
Got it.
Are you really going to do this right now?
You could just end the show, or we could actually have something to talk about that concerns video.
I'm going to end the show. This will be the bonus ode. No, I'm just kidding. What do you got?
All right. So I'll start back on page 1. So we'll go down. This is the biggest lies that video game developers tried to sell you, but ended up getting caught. You might be able to predict some of these. All right, number 1, the first one is the Star Wars Kinect one, where it was actually recorded. The guy
basically anytime someone is using a Kinect on stage and it works, it's obviously faked. Like that's what we've learned.
The next one, Ubisoft promised to delay Assassin's Creed game if it didn't meet standards.
And then the new one came out. Right?
Yes. Getting this in the article, getting these titles out on a regular basis is no easy task, but back in 2013, Ubisoft made a defining statement. According to Ubisoft,
Pronounce the developer of Assassin's Creed again.
Ubisoft.
You keep saying it weird. All right, keep going.
Getting these titles out on a regular basis is no easy task, but back in 2013, Ubisoft made a defining statement. According to Ubisoft, the development team would delay an Assassin's Creed title if it didn't meet standards. Contrary to their statements, their latest Assassin's Creed game was riddled with bugs, glitches, and performance issues. So, yeah.
Are you aware there's a game called ZHP?
What?
Undying Hero versus Dark Death Evil Man?
No, I am not.
A video game that I feel like I want to play. It was recommended by my friend Brendan Sinclair.
Ken Kutaragi, who was former chairman and group CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment, stated that Sony's upcoming console at the time, Sony's PlayStation 3, would be capable of running video games at 120 FPS.
Most games can barely run it at 30.
Do you remember this? Do you remember the statement that Dave Lang made, where if you developed a launch title for the PS3 and you actually got it out on the launch date, come up to me, find me, and get your free hug?
Yes, I remember that. The thing was garbage at launch.
It kind of still is garbage. Like the system, like the Xbox 360 is a better platform than the PS3. Like I don't think the PS3 is a very.
PS3 is more powerful though. Look at the games. You could not make The Last of Us on an Xbox 360.
When Ubisoft showed up Watch Dogs at E3 2012, the gameplay looked astonishing. Graphically, the game was going to please a number of gamers who owned a beefy PC system, but when the game launched, it was a disappointment, and boy, what a disappointment that was.
I still don't think my computer can run Assassin's Creed 1 on decent settings at 60 frames per second. Like that game, that port is terrible. All the Assassin's Creed games ports.
3 was a good port, but 3 was just a bad game in some people's opinion.
I think 3 was. Yeah, I think it ran okay. I just didn't like it.
4 probably ported well.
2 did not run that great.
Ubisoft has gotten better at porting. I mean, look at Splinter Cell Conviction. So
that port isn't that great. Like the online is crap.
That's how we played the co-op.
I mean, that game is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the game is really good, so we're willing to put up with some of it, but that port wasn't super good.
Peter Molyneux. This guy kind of his own page.
Anything he's ever said.
Pete Molyneux is known to hype video games past reasonable expectations for the online gaming community. Fable is one example of that before it was released in 2004. Peter revealed that a number of big features would make it in the game that would range from having children, a story campaign that would span your character's entire lifetime, even allowing players to play a tree and over time watch it grow. These features never made it, and eventually, after the backlash, Peter Molyneux made an apology stating that features he claimed would be in Fable were in development, but ultimately didn't make it. So, there's that. I remember the Kinect when he talked about, what was the name of that thing? You remember it was Project Natal, I think, was code name for Kinect, but they had that whole virtual world that you could go in and experience, that you would interact with characters in there and stuff. So.
Are you just talking about like Peter Molyneux's like fake demo thing where he talked to the kid?
Yeah, he didn't, but an actress did. Yeah, that whole thing. That was supposed to be something. That Kinect one was. I didn't really own one, but that thing was kind of garbage. Oh yeah, here it is, Project Natal, the Milo demo.
Milo.
That's the next one. Milo was his name. This is the 6. Yeah, we kind of talked about that. You were supposed to be able to interact in the world and be able to talk to this kid, and the kid would respond to you and talk back to you, and you guys could have a conversation. So, Killzone 2, E3 2005 trailer. Did you play Killzone 2? I think you did, didn't you?
Some of it, but I'm pretty sure that game came out way later than 2005.
This was the E3 trailer, so it may have. When Guerrilla Games showed off Killzone 2 during E3 25, gamers were blown away. This trailer looked amazing, in fact, too good to be true. Well, it was. The trailer received a massive amount of confusion as to if we were seeing actual gameplay from Killzone 2 or if it was pre-rendered stuff used from the game engine. Back when Sony claimed that it was using in-game assets. A few years later, Guerrilla Games revealed that the development team was under a ton of pressure, and the development team decided to work on a trailer to resemble the actual game, what the actual game would look like. So they basically used a bunch of pre-rendered stuff for that trailer.
I don't know if I played Killzone 2, actually. I played 3.
You played 3 on the PS3. Killzone 2 would have been a PS2 thing, I believe.
Yeah, definitely didn't play that.
All Xbox One units will be dev kits eventually. This is this one. Back during the launch of Xbox One, Microsoft promised all Xbox One units will be developer kits as well. After the Xbox One released, developers were quick to find out that their units were not, in fact, developer kits. I don't remember this being a thing.
I do. I don't think that they can fully say that hasn't happened yet, because we're still relatively early in the Xbox One cycle. They can still do that.
They could still do that, yes. That would be kind of a cool thing if they did that. Just to open up the Xbox One and say here, oh, speaking of the Xbox One, we haven't. Maybe we shouldn't talk about that on the show.
We'll do it. What are we gonna talk about? Show your hand on the screen.
No, no.
We've been running this podcast for way too long. Oh, here we go. There. See that injury on Drewby's hand? He has a giant hole in his hand, as if he were pierced by a giant freaking drill or something. How did you get that, Drewby?
I was playing a video game.
We
And
played a game called #IDARB,
yeah,
which has a name almost as stupid as this podcast.
I've just been calling it IDARB. So in this game, actually, why don't you explain it? I've been talking. Why don't you explain this game?
There's a game. It's kind of like a little mini sport thing where there is a ball and you have two characters. It's a 2D game and you jump around on platforms. You pick up the ball and you can punch the other characters to knock the ball out of their hands, and you try to score in a basket, like a basketball or a football type. I mean, it's not a real game, but like it uses a lot of silly things and like it's really colorful. During the halftime of this game, there's a mini game where you waggle the stick as fast as possible to play a game of tug of war. Whoever waggles the stick fastest, in theory, is the winner and gains. I think you actually gain points. I don't remember.
Yes. Yep.
So Drewby and I are playing this game together. Drewby puts his palm on the stick where that hole is and decides to waggle the stick to the detriment of his own self-esteem and bodily comfort. So like he basically tears a hole in his hand without even realizing it on this Xbox One controller. What did you Google? Did you Google people that did the same thing as you? He's just staring away from the screen and the mic.
I googled Mario Party hand injuries.
That sounds really disgusting. I cannot try that.
The one I saw was not did not happen from Mario Party, but there are like blisters in the palm of people's hands, on the palm of one person's hand. I'm gonna go away from that window. Oh.
Are you done with your list yet?
Well, no, actually. But if you would like to talk about something else, we didn't actually talk about #IDAR because I don't know why that was a game that we actually did play.
I forgot completely about it. That's how memorable it was for me.
The local play was fine. When you and I were just kind of playing each other, that was fine, I thought. But when we got online, there was some lag, and it wasn't very... probably one of the few games on this earth that you can actually play as Tim Schafer. As a player character.
which of course I did, because I think Tim Schafer's hilarious. Did I ever talk about Grim Fandango?
I don't know if you did. I don't remember you talking about Grim Fandango.
I played a game called Grim Fandango. You may have heard of it. It's one of the most popular adventure games of all time from 1998. It got re-released on the PS4 and Vita. I played some with my wife. It's pretty fun.
She
It's
liked
an adventure
it.
game. Yeah, I liked it too. Man, old adventure games have some things where... So, like, probably the most modern adventure games that people think of are like Walking Dead or Wolf Among Us. The game I just talked about last week that I really loved called Life is Strange. It's like a modern adventure game. Old adventure games have some random, obscure puzzles that they expect you to be able to solve just because you have nothing better to do with your life. Like, there were some seriously complicated puzzles that were going on in Grim Fandango. I solved most of them, but at one point I actually had to use a walkthrough because I was getting frustrated, and I did not regret it because it is something I would have not figured out for hours. Hours and hours. Ugh, excuse me. But yeah,
Wow.
It was fun, funny. What?
Looking through this list, I came across one, Dark Souls 2, E3 versus retail graphics.
Oh, is it talking about the lighting effects?
It's it's showing different screenshots, like what the demo was that they showed, and then what the game actually was. There's a big difference.
Yeah, they had a whole lighting engine that was completely different, and then to get the game to run at a relatively smooth frame rate, they like completely overdid the engine and took all of that like dynamic lighting out of the game. So many people were super angry about it.
Well, according to the article, the reason they did that was because at the time they didn't have plans of releasing it on the Xbox 360 and PS3. And when they decided to do that, then that's when they removed the light. Then that's when they had to remove the lighting so they could get it to PlayStation.
I don't even know if that's fully true, because like the PC version and the remake versions don't have those graphics. Even the remakes don't.
Do you remember the whole
better resolution?
Do you remember the whole Xbox One DRM thing that happened?
I do. I remember, and I think that's why the PS4 is still ahead of the Xbox One.
Major Nelson is on video saying we can't just flip a switch for Xbox One DRM.
Except that's what they did.
Well, I don't know if that's actually what they did.
They didn't just flip a switch, but they definitely just turned their 100% around and said, yeah, this is what we're doing. I'm sure that the engineers designing the Xbox One, they've been working on that project for years, trying to make that system work the way it did, were extremely happy when that just was announced to them.
If there was a gaming moment of last year, maybe that I could go back and relive, maybe it'd be like the day that story kind of broke.
I remember when it broke. It was broken by a friend of the site.
Yeah.
Patrick.
I don't know.
Just kidding. He's never been to the site, but we like to call Giant Bomb our sister site, and he used to work there.
He broke that story, but like to go back and then like follow Twitter and look at people's reactions, and then just to do like that would be, I think that'd be an interesting day, just to kind of relive that day over, check that stuff out.
Kevin Van Ord went to Gamersauce.
Wait,
of GameSpot writing fame.
Wait, what? Say that again.
Kevin Van Ord read one of my articles on Gamersauce and said he liked it.
Oh.
I sent it to him.
Oh, but he didn't actually go to the site.
What? He said he liked the article. I mean, he did. I guess he didn't have to read it, but I'm assuming he did.
But he didn't actually. Oh, did you send him a link, or did you just send him the article? I
sent him the link.
Okay. All right. So he actually was on the
At some point, one of Kevin Van Ord's PCs was on our website.
It's as close to fandom as the closest we're gonna get to actual PC review criticism.
Sure.
Fandom, whatever. It talks about Mass Effect 3's ending on this list. I don't know that was necessarily. I don't even know if that was necessarily a lie, but that whole thing.
No, the reason that they call it a lie is because at one point they said that the endings were going to be very different depending on the choices that you'd made throughout the game.
Oh, okay.
And that is total crap. Because there's literally only 3 endings of the game, no matter what you've done.
Did you see the picture that Scott Johnson I think he posted maybe on Instagram or Twitter, with an old woman holding up a sign that said EA equals Electronic Antichrist?
No, I did not.
Yeah. And then the last thing, Final Fantasy 13 PS3 and Xbox 360 screenshot comparison.
What is that about?
There will always be fans going back and forth as which console is better. Fans are once again arguing that the PlayStation 3 would offer far better graphics. Square Enix finally decided to release image screenshots showing off the game from both the PS3 and the Xbox 360. The only thing was, it looked too similar. Turns out that Square Enix released the same image, but just swapped out the PS3 control options with the Xbox 360 ones. The development team later apologized and claimed that this image was not to be released intentionally, but by accident. So.
Bull.
So, yeah. Video games. They exist.
This podcast feels like too much butter spread over not enough bread or
ham.
Something.
Chocolate pudding scraped over too much ham.
Yeah, chocolate pudding scraped over too much ham. I already did the outro. Do we have to do it again? No?
Maybe. No. You said everything, so it's in there.
Yeah. So for hashtag follow the conversation, episode 27. This has been me. What? Michael and my co-host
Drewby. End this now.